G'day and welcome to the GameDay Squad Fantasy Cricket Show. I'm Stu, that's Dill, and we... G'day and welcome to the GameDay Squad Fantasy Cricket Show. I'm Stu, that's Dill, and we are the Fantasy Bros. Thanks everyone for joining us. Hopefully we'll get a few more people into the live stream pretty soon, but you're all here for a pretty specific reason, and that's obviously to play GameDay Squad Fantasy Cricket for season 24-25. For any new users keen to get involved, you've still got plenty of time. You simply need to download the GameDay Squad app. You can jump onto the GameDay Squad website. You can create a team, and you can use the promo code FBAC24. That'll give you a free 3-player rare pack. You can then open a whole heap of bronze packs to get your starter and your classic sides rolling. There's plenty of cash and pack prizes to be won. Dill and I are certainly going to try to get our hands on some of those over the next few weeks. But Dill, we got a lot to get through tonight before that first ball between the Scorchers and the Stars is bowled in about an hour's time from now. Can you let our viewers know what's in store for today's show?
Yeah, thanks, mate. G'day, Stu. G'day, viewers. Absolutely pumped for the start of the season. Looking forward to that first ball. Obviously, we've had a great day's cricket at the Gabba Test, so let's follow it up with an unreal game later on in about an hour's time. Look, we smashed through 11 preseason videos with our analysis of teams, our must-haves, and our top 10 rankings across the bat, wicketkeeper, all-rounder and bowler positions. But look, it's nothing like being live 1 hour before the first ball. So let's rip in and have a massive show. Tonight, we've got a whole lot of giveaways. We have 9 giveaways, all of the players that we ripped throughout those preseason shows. So if you were lucky enough to jump on and view and then comment, you are in the draw and you could win some of those prizes. Plus, we have that massive match short diamond giveaway. That is huge. You do not want to miss it. It will be at the end of this show. It will be live and it'll be right into your squad ready for round one. Look, we're going to run through the 5 round one games discussing some relevant GDS players. We're going to reveal who we will be playing in our squads. I'm a bit nervous about that, but it should be a bit of fun there. So let's jump straight into it, mate. Do you want to announce the winner for our first giveaway before we then get into game one preview?
Absolutely, mate. Can do. Just a quick shout out to, we got a whole heap of comments rolling in. G'day to Timo, Stephen, Fantasy Fanatics, Jonathan's there, and Stealth as well. Guys, feel free to pop some questions or some comments into the little chat section and we'll do our best to get to them throughout the show. Any questions, throw them our way. Alrighty, straight into our first giveaway. And didn't we open a few packs still? Our giveaway will be from that first preview that we did, and there are a number of players involved, and those players up for grabs are a platinum Tom Rogers, a platinum Bo Webster, a diamond Matty Wade from the Hurricanes, and a gold Josh Brown. So the GDS boys have run that giveaway in the background, and just before I announce the winner, we'll say this a couple of times throughout the stream. If you've missed a couple of giveaways, if you want to know who's won, jump onto the Discord. We'll send a full list through there at the end of tonight's show, and you'll be able to get in touch with Cal or with us. Let us know if you won one of the prizes, and we can organise that for you. You just won't be able to get the prize before the first ball tonight. There's a little bit behind the scenes that we've got to focus on beforehand, but you will get that prize nice and quickly. Just message me, Dill or Cal, after that first ball has been bowled. If you do win the Matty Short Diamond, don't worry, you will get that pretty quickly as well. Alrighty, the winner of those cards I mentioned previously is Josh Brown, number 1. So you've won that. Rogers, Webster, Wade, and Josh Brown. Good job, Josh Brown, number 1. Thanks for getting involved, mate. I know you commented on a lot of our videos, so thanks for the support as well. Alrighty, Fantasy Fanatics, we'll probably get to that question pretty shortly, mate. Some of those boys we are definitely going to speak about quite soon, either in this first or second match preview. Dill, you want to kick us off and let us know about the first match happening in less than an hour?
Yeah, mate. Well done, Joshy Brown, picking up a Josh Brown as well. So that's good work. Yeah, all right. So the first game, as we know, is the Stars versus Scorchers. Look, they're playing at Optus Stadium in about an hour's time. So 6:15 AEST time. And look, the best thing about it is there is no rain to be seen. So it should be perfect weather for the game. Look, a couple of key venue stats. I had a bit of a dig around based on last season. The batting points average at Optus Stadium was 22. Which was the 5th best venue for all batsmen. The bowling points averaged 29.7, so that's the 6th best venue there. And then the batting points average for the first innings was 25, second was 19.3. So if you're looking at playing maybe Finn Allen at the top there, let's hope that the Scorchers win the toss and elect to bat first. Look, as we said, we're going to talk through a couple of relevant GDS players. So let's start it off. I guess the big one is the Stars all-rounders. We've got Stoinis, Curran and Webster. Mate, where do you think you're heading with your thoughts around the 3? And are you going to play all 3 or are you going to look to leave one on the bench?
Yeah, mate, that's probably a question on a lot of people's minds. So hopefully we can make things a little bit clearer for some of you. I think I've got 2 definite starts in both Curran and Webster. I think the roles for these 2 in the team is going to be excellent in terms of particularly plenty of overs with the ball. Tom Curran will probably see plenty of those death overs, which is just unreal for GameDay Squad points. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Bo Webster get maybe 2 to 4 overs tonight, particularly because the Stars are without Glenn Maxwell. And even with Maxie in the team last season, he still gave Bo Webster the ball fairly often. And they're probably down on a couple of troops with the ball. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him with some overs. And he bats at 3 as well. We'll obviously confirm that in maybe 15 or 20 minutes' time when those first team lists are announced. But the role for Bo Webster is incredible. Batting at 3, could get anywhere from 2 to 4 overs. Tommy Curran could even be batting as high as 6 or 7. Mm-hmm. He's definitely no slouch with the bat as well. And I think he is definitely in prime territory for a couple of late wickets as well. Obviously, the winner of the toss is going to be pretty important in terms of what that match play out might look like. But I think those 2 are definites for me. I'm a little bit less keen on Stoinis. I know he's got the ability to go massive. Anything you can tell the boys about Stoinis, mate?
Yeah, I like the question that's just come up on screen there. Fantasy Fanatics, do we think Stoinis as captain will actually bowl himself? And that's where I'm a little bit nervous. I talked last night on our live pack opening that I feel like if I don't play Stoinis, he's going to bowl himself 4. If I do play him, he'll bowl himself maybe 1 or 2. So, yeah, I'm a little bit nervous there for him. But I guess the reason that I'm fading him, it's similar to what you said around Webster coming out hopefully at 3, is that he's got a really good opportunity to score some runs at that position, which we saw quite a lot last season. And in fact, last season, top order batsman at Optus Stadium averaged around 30.1 GDS points. So I'd be pretty happy if he went out there and got that average with the bat and then was able to follow it up in terms of Webster, was able to follow it up then with 3 or 4 overs. So, yeah, I'm going to keep an eye on what Stoinis does as captain. I have a feeling that he's got a bit of a personality to maybe bowl himself 4. I don't know. Is that a bit harsh on Stoin and his larrikin personality? But we'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, for me, I agree with you. I'm co-signing that we're going Webster and Curran, and I think those 2 are across all 4 of my squad. So I've loaded up on those 2.
Yeah, mate, but probably can't say anything bad about anyone that decides to play Stoinis tonight. I'll probably be, biting my fingernails when he walks up to the his bowling mark with the ball in hand. hoping that he sort of doesn't go too well with the ball, particularly since he won't be in any of my teams. But he's a great play as well. Obviously, the Melbourne Stars have 2 matches, and we know the importance of 2 matches around, meaning that you don't get both of their points across the one match plus the next match. You get their best score, but that effectively means that you get 2 bites at the cherry. And if Stoinis doesn't go well with the bat and he still gets a couple of overs with the ball, but still doesn't get a massive score, you can still potentially get a bigger score next match if he does a little bit better with the bat or ball. So certainly no issue playing Stoinis, but we can only play 4 all-rounders, and we'll speak about our other 2 all-rounders that we're going to be playing a little bit later on as well. So anyone that plays Stoinis, it's definitely not a bad play, and I'm actually going to be pretty nervous fading him, and I'm sure you will be as well, Dill. Mate, what about some of the Perth Scorchers players? Obviously, they're playing at home. It's going to be a nice, fast deck. It's an early afternoon game, so the floodlights aren't going to take over, or probably not going to play a factor at all, meaning, there should be plenty of runs scored and probably plenty of wickets too. Who do you like from the Scorchers team, mate?
Yeah, I've got 2 that I like, and I guess the first I'll talk about is the collection of Scorchers fast bowlers. I still haven't quite made my mind up yet which one I'm going to play. I'm tossing up between 2 at the moment, and obviously just pending team lists and a few injury niggles, and we'll see what happens there. But look, the Scorchers bowlers were unreal in this corresponding game last season. Behrendorff ended up with 92 points, and I think the Stars allowed 56.8 across the Scorchers bowlers. So that's, some massive numbers there. The question is, though, which bowler is going to, have that big game? Behrendorff last season, is it going to be Richo this season? He's got those shoulder concerns that we talked at length about, but he looks ready to go. Or is it, potentially my breakout star for the Scorchers in Morris? I feel like maybe I'm leaning towards Morris just because he's a bit younger. He's got a bit more fire in him. And as we spoke about in the bowlers rankings, that Richo probably won't have an opportunity to get some points with his fielding. They like to hide him, and then really struggling to probably take a catch, and then probably more than anything, he will not be able to affect a run out bowling the ball in as slow and loopy as he does. So yeah, I think I'm leaning towards Morris just for that little bit of upside in potentially the fielding stats as well. If he can find a catch or 2 in the field and affect a run out plus get a wicket or 2, then I think that'll be massive. And it potentially could be a bit of a pod based on what I've seen and heard around. As Stewie just drops out there, we'll wait for him to come back. I'll keep talking about the other Scorchers player that I really like, and there's probably no secret about it, that Finn Allen is the top of my list for the batsmen. I already spoke about the opportunity the batsmen have, the Optus Stadium top order averaging 30.1. If we look at Scorchers in particular, they are averaging massive points at home, so it should be something that I'm really looking forward to. And in terms of them against the Stars allow 50 GDS points to top order batsmen, and that's the most across all teams. So Finn Allen's someone that I'm definitely locking into my squad, and I've got him across a few of my teams. So Finn Allen, I'm expecting to have a massive game. As I said, hopefully they win the toss, they go out to bat first. The deck's nice and fast, and it comes on nicely for big Finn Allen.
Might have dropped out there for a minute. Nothing like some internet issues in the lead up to the first ball being bowled. Hey, caught a bit of your Finn Allen chat, and we've obviously spoken at length about him during some of our Scorchers previews as well as our bat rankings, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him featured in quite a lot of teams. But the fact that he's a new player into the game means that not everyone's going to own a Finn Allen card, and that's what I love about having odds at the moment, is that he's got the opportunity to go massive, and not every team's going to have access to his card. So they're probably going to be looking at someone else, maybe someone from the Stars who's got a double game that might have an opportunity to go big in both of those matches, but probably not the caliber or quality of players as Finn Allen. So I'm super confident. I'm not sure, but next week he's going to be a walk-up start when they've got 2 matches in round 2. But really hoping he comes out for tonight. Do you want to see the Scorchers win the toss and bat? Do you think that's when he'll fire?
Yeah, I think that's the best opportunity for him. As I said, the top order batsmen coming out first. Really good opportunity at Optus Stadium. So yeah, I would love to see that. Obviously, we've probably got about another 15 or so minutes till those team lists are announced, and we might have to come back and have a chat about that once it is, because I feel like from what we've heard, there could be a bit of a shake-up at the top order with Finn Allen. So that will be interesting and something we'll probably touch on. And there's been a couple of comments already on the YouTube chat there around some potential players and potential pods there. So yeah, we might come back and touch on their top order a little bit more. And once that toss is announced and those teams are announced, I just wanted to touch on one more player before we move on. We did a live pack opening last night over on Discord, so we'll continue doing those throughout the season. So if you're keen to watch us bust some packs open and hopefully hit a legend, make sure that you are keeping an eye out on Discord. But JT asked us a really interesting question, and I gave him a bit of a teaser and thought I'd save it till today. Look, it was on Joe Clark. Obviously, we've got two really key wicket keepers, and we're probably going to play one of them, and that's either Joe Clark or Tim Seifert. Just on Joe Clark, last season, the Scorchers only allowed 19.4 GDS points to wicket keepers. The only other team that restricted wicket keepers more than that were the Sixers, where they restricted wicket keepers to 13.1, and the Renegades play the Sixers in game 2. So there's really no great opportunity there for either, I think, but it's the Renegades game later on in the round that I think is going to be the exploit. So you'll see in a moment when we jump over to our game 2 preview that I've gone Tim Seifert, and that's some really good reasons why around there. So JT, if you're thinking about Joe Clark, maybe I can try and steer you away to Tim Seifert, or potentially another wicketkeeper that is not playing a double.
Yeah, nice, mate. Dill, I reckon we move on to that game pretty soon. Let's just do a couple of quick YouTube questions. I see an interesting comment here from C-Fame, who's asking if it's crazy to play Maxwell. He can't get the game against Afghanistan out of his head. Yeah, wasn't that something to remember when he scored 150 with basically batting with one leg? He just cleared the ropes just about every second shot, it seemed. Look, he's not playing game 1. That's a definite, which means he's highly unlikely to play game 2 as well, meaning you could potentially have a donut, have a 0 in your score. I'm going to keep this nice and short. He's a no for me. Even if he does play game 2, he's probably underdone. Just wait for him to be named on that team sheet from round 2 onwards. You don't need to risk it straight away. But, gee, if anyone's going to play him, all the power to you, and I hope he goes massive for you. Dill, Cooper Connolly from the Scorchers. He might have a bit of a better role with the ball this year, given that McKenzie has left. He's gone over to the Stars. Ashton Agar might still be underdone in terms of his injury. Connolly will also bat pretty high. We expect maybe at 3, 4, or maybe at 6. Is he a good start based on his role in this team?
Yeah, I think what you said earlier about Finn Allen and maybe even just having a watch, benching them and having a watch to see how he goes, I think is probably a good option here for Connolly. I mean, it could be a great pod, especially if he's named in that top order somewhere, 2, 3, 4. I think that could be a really good pod. But I'd like to see the role that he does have. Agar is coming back from that injury, but so is Connolly. They both seem like they're healthy and ready to go, and I wouldn't think the Scorchers would play them otherwise. But yeah, I want to have a look first as well. And just on the potential of Connolly coming up the order, he didn't really score that well last season when he was up the order. I think he had a 20 runs, 9 runs, and then a duck. So I would rather have a look first and see how he goes in the top order if he is named at 3 or even to partner Finn Allen, as some of the whispers might be suggesting. So for me, he's a sit and wait, but I could expect big things from him for sure.
Awesome, mate. All right, hope that helps you out there, Timo. All right, Dill, let's get into giveaway number 2 from our Renegades video. We had a number of players enter the player prize pool. They include Matty Renshaw Gold, Joel Paris Platinum, Mitch Owen Gold, an Aaron Hardy Platinum, and a Mitch Swepson Platinum, as well as a Josh Philippi Platinum. So a lot of handy cards there. And the winner for those 6 or 7 cards are Tony's Troops. Well done, Tony. Good on you, mate. Just a reminder, get in touch with me, Dill or Cal. just after that first ball has been bowled, and we'll organise that those trades for you so that you can claim those cards. Jump onto the Discord, everyone, so you can see who wins once we've finished tonight's show. We'll announce all of those winners again, just in case you might have missed. Do I want to do another giveaway while we're here?
Yep. Let's do one more. Well done, Tony. Let's move on to the next giveaway. So that was the Hurricanes player pool. We had Bartlett Platinum. We had Davies Plat. We had a Paris Platinum. We had 2 Overton Golds. And then we had a Gilks Gold to finish off. And the winner of all of those cards is Six Bang. Six Bang. Well done, mate. You have definitely come out on top with some of those cards there. That Jamie Overton double gold, I think, will be unreal. Particularly when they have that double game coming up soon. So as Stu said, get in contact with either of us or Cal, and we will organise that trade over to you with all of those cards. Well done, Six Bang.
3 giveaways down, plenty more still to come, guys. All right, game 2. Tomorrow night, we'll see the Sixers take on the Renegades. That'll be at the SCG. The moment it looks like it's going to be a nice and sunny day at about 30 degrees, which will be lovely for cricket. And the key stats here are that the batting points are a little bit lower at the SCG pitch. It's probably the 8th best pitch in Australia, where batsmen were only scoring about 19.5 GDS points. It's a bit more of a bowling venue, where bowlers claimed 31 points per match, and that saw them finish as the 4th best venue for bowlers. Batting points in the first innings was about 21.3 versus second innings of 17.7. So that toss tomorrow night might be crucial if you're looking at playing a batsman in the second innings. And I'm sure we're going to be looking at plenty of Renegades players. Mm-hmm. Gee, that's not really good looking in terms of those points that are being scored during the second innings, Dill.
Yeah, that's right. So let's all hope that everyone that is playing the Renegades top order, that they win the toss, put themselves into bat first, so that we can see some big runs scored in that first innings. Obviously, there's a bit of discussion around that top order and you know who we like, and they've got the double game, so they got 2 bites of the cherry, and we're sort of looking at the 4 of them: that Seifert, Josh Brown, Jake Fraser-McGurk, and then Laurie Evans potentially in there as well as someone that could be a bit of a pod. Talk us through, who have you gone in terms of those 4? Have you played all 4? It is possible to do so. Alrighty, I don't know what happened to Stu there, so let's continue. I'll jump in and I'll talk about Seifert first. As I touched on, Joe Clark, not good looking numbers there for him, but for Seifert, it's not that great either against the Sixers. They were absolutely elite at restricting wicket keepers last season. The Sixers were able to limit their opposition to 13.1 GDS points, and the Gage wicket keepers could only average around 7 points against the Sixers in their corresponding game. So it's not so much this game that I'm targeting Seifert for. Look, if he gets anything above that, obviously you'll take it. But I'm more targeting Seifert for his second game at the end of the round against the Hobart Hurricanes. I think there's a better opportunity there. But you never know. He comes out, you know, a new player to a club playing in his first Aus Cricket season. I think there's an opportunity for him to show, you know, all the Aussie fans who he is and what he has to offer. And so it could be set up for a great little start to the season for him. But yeah, just on the numbers, I'm a little bit concerned, but I'm still running with him. It's just that I'm more focusing on that second game and hopefully he gets up for that second game.
All right, Dill. Sorry, mate. Before I left, I heard you ask me a question about who I was looking at playing. I know you've spoken a bit about Timmy Seifert. I know you've gone Laurie Evans. Laurie Evans is probably the one guy that I'm not going to be playing this round. Could come back to bite me, but I'm going to put more faith in Jake Fraser-McGurk as well as Josh Brown. Look, I probably wouldn't play both of these guys if the Renegades only had one match, but given I'm going to get their best score from 2 matches, I really want to see if I can target their ceiling, and I hope they can go big in one of these 2 matches. We've seen them before. You know, Josh Brown and Fraser-McGurk have both scored centuries at you know, incredible strike rates of close to 200. And I want to cash in. If the Renegades get to bat first on either of those matches, then I feel like those two can put on some big points up the top of the order alongside Tim Seifert as well. The other side of the coin is if the Renegades bat second, depending on obviously the score that they're chasing, it's those three bats that are probably more likely to get involved in the run scoring, and maybe Laurie Evans slightly less coming in at 4 or 5, depending on what they decide to do with Mac Harvey. So we can't go past Josh Brown's massive score last season in the final. We also can't overlook that he just come off an 85 off 48 in the practice game against the Stars, against a few quality bowlers only 2 or 3 nights ago. So coming into a game like this in form is the best way to come into a match, and I want to cash in. And Jake Fraser-McGurk hasn't been great for Australia. I think even coming in at 3 would be better for him. I'd love to see that happen. I don't quite think it will. Seifert probably comes in at 3. But he just needs to take his time a little bit more and not try to send every ball over the fence. But he definitely has the ability to do so, and I don't want to miss out on a massive, 50 off 20 for Jake Fraser-McGurk. I'll be, kicking myself if he kills it in either of these 2 matches.
Yeah, I agree with everything. And look, I have gone Laurie Evans, but it will come down to probably the toss. And one of the reasons I have gone Laurie Evans is that, look, to be fair, if I don't play Josh Brown, I will be super nervous. If he gets 2 opportunities, for sure one of them he's going big. But I like Evans because he actually scored the second most GDS points of all batsmen last season, only behind Josh Brown. But, we talked through that in the Gades preview show, that if we take that 140 against the strikers that Josh Brown hit, we take that away and replace it with, something closer to his average. Evans is the top scoring batsman of the tournament for GDS. So, he does come to a different team. He was playing for the Scorchers, and, we talk about their pitch and how that plays. But I think he's still got a really good opportunity to do the same thing again at a similar spot, albeit for the Renegades. Look, you have a look at Josh Brown and Laurie Evans, and you compare those two. Their stats are actually really similar across Big Bash. The thing that I like just a little bit more for Laurie Evans is he has a higher strike rate. So Josh Brown across all BBL games has a strike rate of 149, whereas Laurie Evans is 161 across all Big Bash games. So I'm really keen to go with that potential pod with a massive risk and asterisks there pending team lists and squads. But I just like that opportunity, and I like that pod. It could be a massive point of difference if Josh Brown potentially has 2 fails.
Gee, mate, that strike rate stat is surprising to me. I would have thought that Josh Brown would have one of the biggest ones in the country. But yeah, that's for any Laurie Evans truthers like yourself, mate. Back yourself. And that'll be a nice little difference between your squad and my squad. Do you want to have a quick diversion back to tonight's game and have a quick chat about the Perth lineup, because there's a couple of interesting names on that list?
Yeah, definitely. So first off, the Melbourne Stars did win the bat flip, and they will be batting first. So probably not necessarily something we wanted to hear in terms of wanting to see Finn Allen straight off the top. But yeah, let's run through that Scorchers lineup. So Jennings and Allen to open, Connolly, Hurst and Turner coming at 3, 4 and 5. Hobson finds his way into the squad, which is a bit interesting. Then Agar, Richardson, Ty, Behrendorff and Morris to round out the lineup. So Richardson gets in there, based on those shoulder concerns. So hopefully that means he's fit and firing. And then obviously the big one there is Keaton Jennings opening up with Allen.
Yeah, thanks for that, mate. Yeah, I don't mind the Scorchers bowling first. It obviously means, their quicks are definitely going to be getting their full 20 overs. And if they're not getting 20 overs, it means that they're bowling out the Stars beforehand, which means they're taking 10 wickets. And we could see Morris, Behrendorff, Ty and Richardson all but certain to get 4 overs. And it looks like Agar and maybe Connolly might share 4 between them, with probably Agar 3 to 4. And, Connolly might only get 1 or 2. So it looks like they've only got those 6 bowlers. So anyone that's looking to take a punt on Connolly, now that he's listed at number 3, and he could definitely bowl, 1 or 2 overs, I think that's a pretty decent play. Maybe I might even throw him into maybe a classic lineup maybe not my favourite lineup in Champion. There's a couple of better all-rounders that I'd like to play, but gee, that's looking like a pretty good role for Cooper Connolly, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. As I said, I'd still probably like to have a look at how he goes, and just a couple of question marks over his form at the top order based on what he produced last season. But if he goes well, then you definitely get him in next week for sure. Look, the Stars. Sorry, the Stars lineup hasn't come through yet. So when it does, we'll jump back to it and have a chat a little bit more. But did you want to continue and talk through one of your bowling options from the Renegades in Adam Zampa?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Yeah, he gets a start in my bowl spot again, probably because of the fact that he plays 2 matches during round 1, meaning I get the best of his 2 scores. And really what I'm hoping is that he gets maybe 3 wickets in just one of those matches. I'm not expecting him to do any well with the bat, but any points with the bat is always gold for a bowler. Look, Zampa is still Australia's premier short form spinner. We said that in the previews. He's taken multiple wickets in 8 of his last 10 internationals for Australia. He's still spinning the ball. He's still troubling batsmen. He hasn't become a worse bowler. But the last 2 seasons, he's obviously admitted himself that he'd come into both fantasy cricket seasons a little bit underdone. He wasn't bowling up to his high standards, and he's feeling more refreshed this season, and he can't wait to get into this season, and he expects himself that he's going to have a really big game, a really big year. He's also got a new haircut, a new hairstyle as well, so that obviously has no correlation to his GameDay Squad point scoring, but something that I'm here for nonetheless. I think even though he might go for plenty of runs, he's still a very attacking bowler, and he can still take plenty of wickets if he bowls someone through the gate, or if he has someone caught on the boundary. It's still worth the same amount of points. So I'm taking the risk on him, probably at the expense of maybe an Xavier Bartlett that I think will be pretty popular this round. But again, 2 bites at the cherry. I want the batsman to go after him. He'll take 2 or 3, and I will be happy.
Yeah, look, just on his haircut, I think I might have to go away and do a little bit of deeper analysis there and see, the different haircuts he has displayed over the years in the Aus Cricket seasons, and see whether there is some correlation, because you might be onto something. There might be a little something in that. So stay with me. I might bring that back to you next week, huh?
All right. The looks like the Stars 11 has come through. Thanks for posting that through, Sanjeev. So let's run through that, Dylan, and see if there's anything interesting that stands out. Looks like the Stars will open with Tom Rogers and Joe Clark. Maybe a bit of a surprise is Sam Harper coming in at number 3, which means Stoinis drops down to 4, Hilton Cartwright 5. And what's going on, mate? Bo Webster at 6, Tom Curran 7, Hamish McKenzie, Adam Milne, Brodie Couch, and Peter Siddle. Not what we're expecting there, mate. What are we doing?
Oh, that throws a spanner for sure. The Sammy Harper one, it confuses me a lot. I don't know how much he has to offer to the squad. Look, I'm not a Sammy Harper hater. I just don't think he goes that well in Aus Cricket. So obviously we were banking on Bo Webster being higher in the order, and maybe we've got about half an hour left, so I might have to be thinking about reevaluating maybe everything we said about the Stoinis versus Webster chat is now out the window, and maybe I make a last minute audible and do throw Stoinis in. I don't know, that's thrown me a little bit. That might be my option, I think. I'm going to have to think about it in the next half an hour, and I feel like it might be a really last minute change that I make.
Yeah, tough, isn't it? Let us know in the comments, guys, what you think about that Webster move to 6 and whether or not you're going to play him. What I don't mind, Dill, is that the Stars are batting first, meaning if the Scorchers take a few early wickets, Bo Webster's still going to get a bat. If the Stars are batting second and Webster's named at 6, there's a much greater chance that he doesn't get a bat. So I still think I'm going to play him. I still think the Scorchers are going to take plenty of wickets early on. And look, our 2 all-rounders in Bo Webster and Tom Curran might be the 2 that have to dig him out of trouble with the bat. It's not ideal. And you're right, we've still got about half an hour. Let us know in the chat who's going to make some last-minute changes now that we've seen the Stars line up. Gee, that's tough, isn't it?
Yeah. And just quickly,
Broden.
oh yeah,
Bowden,
you go.
sorry. Yeah, Bowden has just asked, does he drop Cartwright now? Since Cartwright's coming in a little bit lower than he expected. What are your thoughts on Cartwright, mate?
Yeah, I think Cartwright is a drop for me. Coming in just before Webster, he doesn't offer too much opportunity elsewhere outside the bat. So I think for me, Cartwright, anytime a batsman comes in 5, 6, 7 and offers nothing else outside of the batting stats for GDS, it's a drop for me. At least Webster, and we've talked about before, bowlers probably have a better opportunity to score more points in GDS, and they're generally the ones that win us tournaments. So for me, if it's between Cartwright and Webster, I'd be going Webster. If it's between Cartwright and Stoinis, I'd be going Stoinis. So yeah, I think Cartwright's a drop for me.
Okay, and Stealth backs me as well, saying that Webster is still a solid option versus that wild Perth attack. And then we also know that the Stars have a second game as well. Maybe they play around with the batting order, and Bo Webster comes back to 3. They need their best players at the top of the order. Sammy Harper in there at 3 is probably not going to be ideal for them. It might take one game for them to realise, but we could see Bo Webster back at 3 soon enough. We still got that second match, so I'm not going to be too scared off Bo Webster at the moment. But yeah, we still got plenty of time to panic trade. Dill, have we finished our chat on match 2, or anything more that you want to get into before we move on?
I'll just go really quickly. I've just got one little all-rounder that is flying under the radar that I just wanted to touch on. I'm not going to play him, and I don't know how many will, but he could be a huge pod, and that is Jack Edwards of the Sixers. I think that he could be an unreal pod coming into this round and future rounds. Look, he's coming off a massive 10-wicket haul in Shield cricket. He got 5 for 41 in both of the innings, plus he added a handy 30 runs. So he could be an unreal pod. So anyone that maybe doesn't have some of the cards that we've talked about so far, and you do have a Jackie Edwards, I suggest maybe that's an option for you. So if you do, good luck with that.
Yeah, good shout, mate. Absolutely. All right, let's get into a couple of giveaways. Let's go back-to-back giveaways, mate. We'll go through the players that we packed in the Stars preview. We've got Adam Zampa Gold, a Schwepson Gold, a Marley Beardman Gold, Seifert Platt, Hughes Platt, and an Evans Platt. The winner of those 6 cards are Dr. Kando. Well done, mate. Make sure you message one of us, message Cal a little bit later on, and we'll get a trade sorted for you nice and quick. But thanks for all the support, Dr. Kando. Well done. Do you want to fly through another giveaway?
Yep, let's do another one. So we've got a couple of cards from the Strikers player pool prize pool giveaway. The first one that we pulled was a Fabian Allen Platt. We had a Sam's Gold, a Pearson Gold, and a Chauhan Gold. So a couple of really good cards there. And the winner of those 4 cards is also Dr. Kando. Back to back, mate. Well done. Dr. Kando, well done. Sweeping the field, taking all of those cards. Great work, mate. So like we said, get in contact with us after the start of the game, and we will get those cards to you.
Beauty. Right, Adele, we've got about 20 minutes left until that first ball. Let's run through Game 3. Game 3 sees the Thunder take on the Stars. That'll be in Canberra at Monica Oval. Again, a 6:15 start. Looks a little bit cloudy at this stage with very minimal chance of rain, but obviously the weather forecast will update, quite a bit between now and Tuesday. But quite interestingly, the conditions of Monica pitch meant that the team batting first averaged a season low 140 runs with the bat in terms of the 20 overs. And that meant that the batting points average for the batsman was only 18.8 points. Similarly to, like we talked about the SCG, the bowlers scored a bit more points at Monica Oval, scoring just shy of 30 points. But yeah, look, it looks to be a bowler's pitch rather than a batting pitch, particularly for a team batting first. So that's probably something that we might need to take into consideration when we're determining which Thunder and which Strikers players we are going to play. Dill, the most relevant players from the Strikers, let's start with them. Probably Matty Short. Jamie Overton seems to be a pretty popular player as well. Are they both going to feature in your side?
I'm fading Overton. You can't not fade Short. I've already faded Josh Brown who was the batting GOAT last season, so I can't fade the GOAT of the tournament in short. Yeah. And I don't think there needs to be too much explanation about why. We spoke at length about the brilliance that Matt Short brings, and he doesn't even have to be as good as last season to still be the best player in GDS. Overton, I wouldn't be upset, or I wouldn't discourage coaches from playing him. I think that could be a good pod potentially, maybe even over Short, and hope that Overton takes a few more wickets and does something with the bat at the end. He might even come out at as high as 5, based on the squad that they're probably putting together. So if that does happen, that could be a really good opportunity. All-rounders last season against the Thunder averaged 53.5 GDS points. So that was particularly against the Thunder. So massive opportunity there for both Short and Overton to get some high scores there for your team. The other players that I'm looking at in terms of potential for GDS is Sams and then Lockie Ferguson. Do you want to talk through maybe why? And I see we've both gone Lockie Ferguson as a bowler. So do you want to jump in and talk through Lockie Ferguson?
Yeah, absolutely. Only the one game for the big quick, but I'm happy to play him. Probably play him almost every single time he takes the field, to be honest. He's such a good bowler. We've seen what he can do on the international stage. We've spoken about at length about what he did in that Global Cricket Championship, where he took, 3 for none off 4 overs, including 4 maidens, which is just, incredible. And he's not going to repeat that, obviously, against, the quality batsman in Australia, but he's definitely capable of taking some big wicket hauls. And, he's all but certain to be taking plenty of those death overs or during the power surge where the batsmen like to go after the bowlers. He's got the ability to swing the ball, to bowl with plenty of pace. He'll trouble plenty of batsmen. He'll take plenty of wickets. And I think he's just someone that you've got to play. Also, he's not going to have many cards out there. He's only a new player this season. So, again, a pretty big pod for one of the best bowlers going around in this year's tournament. He's a lock for me.
Yeah, he's a lock for me, but there is a bit of a caveat to that, in that last season the strikers limited all bowling options to an average of 22 points for GDS, which I'm a little bit nervous about. That was the lowest in the comp last season from all bowlers. So that has me a little bit worried. He obviously, the Thunder didn't have the strike power that they do this season in Lockie Ferguson. So that stat could be completely different with Fergo. But the other thing is Manuka Oval. You talked about, more bowler friendly. It's actually more spin friendly as well. They average 36 or 37 GDS points from spin versus only 25 from quicks. So there again, it gets me a little bit nervous, but I know what Lockie Ferguson does. I know what he can bring to the tournament, and I think I'll be playing him straight up and just hoping that he takes 3 for or 4 for, and you run away with that score and you love it. One player that I'm fading, and it's a big fade, and I talked about him in our all-rounder top 10 rankings, is Daniel Sams. Look, he seems to be fit, which is good news. He was coming off that injury, but they had a recent warm-up game against the Strikers. He took 1 for 23, but he could only manage 3 runs from 4 balls with the bat. That's really concerning for anyone that is looking to play Sams. I would be advising against it for that reason, is that he probably just won't score you the runs that you need from that all-rounder position. And without a double game, it's someone that I definitely will be watching closely, but there's no way I'm playing him this week. And I expect you're probably the same. Is that right?
Yeah, spot on, mate. He's definitely in my top 10 for the all-rounder position for the season, but just want to see how he returns from that knee injury. He was down on form with the bat last year. He's very capable with the bat, but yeah, he's probably not someone you need to take a risk on straight away. But I can see him definitely being featured in my all-rounder position. We know how important it is for those players in that position to score runs with the bat, but also to get through plenty of work with the ball as well. Someone who might not necessarily do plenty of work with the ball in this match, though, mate, in the all-rounder position is Matt Short, that GOAT that you alluded to last season. He obviously, went ballistic with the bat. He out-averaged everyone else in GameDay Squad by 20 points. But strikers are probably likely to go quite spin-heavy, with Lloyd Pope, Cameron Boyce, Fabian Allen, and then there's Matty Short and Darcy Short, who can bowl some spin as well. So up to 5 capable spinners, and that's not even when you mention the quicks yet. So yes, spin is good at Manuka, like you mentioned, but there are so many options that if they're all bowling well, Short doesn't necessarily need to have too many overs with the ball, and the people who don't play him in round one and he doesn't get an over or two, they're probably going to be big winners, particularly if he gets a good ball from Lockie Ferguson early on and walks off without too many points. But gee, it's a massive risk, isn't it?
Well, if anyone does not play Matt Short, I think, and he fails, I think they win the week. I think that's as simple as it is, because
that's a big call, but
I feel, and if that happens, and someone is out there listening right now to that, and they do win the week without Matt Short, you need to hit me up. You owe me something for sure. Alrighty, let's jump into the next giveaway because we are running out of time. There's only 15 minutes left. We are getting so pumped for this game. I am starting to get a little bit nervous about my team. So let's jump into the next giveaway. We've got the Sixers player prize pool. So in that, we pulled the Warner Gold, a Webster Gold, Billings Gold, a Harper Platt, who's now relevant, a McDermott Platt, and then a Jordan Platt as well. So for those 6 cards, we've got a winner, and it is BB11. BB11, well done, mate. You have won those 6 cards there. So hit us up on Discord a little bit later to sort out that prize. Mate, did you want to do the next one, and then we'll jump into that next preview?
Yeah, mate. Absolutely. Well done, BB11. All right, giveaway 7 was from our Scorchers preview, where we packed a Hatcher Diamond, a Curtis Patterson Platinum, a Matt Kuhneman Platinum, and a Fanning Gold.
Oh, what a tease. Oh, no. Okay, well, Stewie's dropped out there, so I can announce the winner. Unlucky Stew. The winner is Bales Nails. Well done. Lucky work there from Bales Nails. Hit us up. You've got those 4 cards there. Well done to Bales Nails. Remember, hit us up after the start of this game so that we can organise that trade there for those cards. All right, let's jump into game 4. It is the Stars' second game up against the Heat. And that is happening on Wednesday. It is at the MCG, kicking off at 6:15 again, Australian Eastern Standard Time. And the weather is looking fine, so we should get our 40 overs in for that game. Some of the venue stats there, look, it's one of the worst venues in terms of batting points average. It was ranked 9th last season and only allowed 18.8 batting points. In terms of bowling, much better for bowling. Seems to be a bit of a theme running at the moment. 29 GDS points was the average there. In terms of the innings breakdown, it is much better to be chasing down a total at MCG. They were averaging 31.9 GDS points last season when chasing versus 17.7 in that first innings. So definitely keep an eye on that toss. I'd be really interested to see, hopefully, the Heat chase down a decent total and we can get a win early with, as we've spoken about a lot, our thin top order bat, which I think is going to be a bit of a theme throughout the next few weeks of all of our previews. And with that thin lineup at the top order, I think one of the key players for GDS and potentially a pod for a lot of people is going to be Paul Walter. He should see all 4 overs with Spencer Johnson and Nisa ruled out, or all but ruled out, I should say. It's not confirmed yet, but we will confirm that with you as soon as we get it through. So Walter should bowl those 4 overs, and he should be moved up the order because of some of those international duties and injuries, etc. So he could definitely be a player that you bring into your all-rounder spot if you don't have the likes of Webster, Curran, Stoinis, Sutherland, and you want to play a potential pod there. Last season, the Stars gave up an average of 22.9 GDS points to all-rounders, which ranked them the 4th worst across the comp. But I think with Walter's ability to be able to score both with ball and bat, and then, as we spoke about in that all-rounder show, the ability for him to just put himself in some unreal spots in the field and take some great catches, I think he's probably a lock for some decent points in GDS, albeit against the season averages last year. Is Paul Walter someone, Stu, you're welcome back, by the way. Is Paul Walter someone you're looking at playing, or is that someone that potentially is going to come in that double game in a couple of weeks?
No, he's definitely someone that's been in consideration. I've got him in, I think, my classic side just because of the the increased role that he's likely to have, without Spencer Johnson and Michael Neser, like you mentioned. The only issue I have is, like you mentioned, the Heat top order isn't amazing. They're down on bowling options. If the Heat bat first and don't score many runs, they don't have a lot to bowl at, and that means Paul Walter is far less likely to get many points with the ball. Yes, he might get a better opportunity with the bat, which is excellent for your all-rounder position. But I'm just so hesitant because the Heat, could be pretty poor early on. And yeah, look, I still like him. I think we'll go really well with the bat if he gets the opportunity. He'll get the role with the ball. Whether or not he's going to get a lot of inroads in terms of taking wickets because of the runs that the Heat top order are putting on is still to be seen. I want him to go well for my team, the Heat. But yeah, not in my number one squad at the moment, but I can't leave him out. So he'll be in one of my 4 teams. But yeah, I think a great pod against Webster, particularly now that we've seen Webster's role change from what we expected.
Yeah, for sure. Viewers, there's one thing that you'll probably notice is that Stu and I have not spoken at all about any Stars bowlers. Obviously, Stars have the double game, but for me, I'm not going anywhere near any of their bowlers, even with that double game, unless I can be convinced otherwise. I'm just not keen on any of them. And one of the key stats that stand out for me is last season the Stars bowlers could only average 9.7 GDS points, in particular against the Heat, and then only 20.7 GDS points against the Scorchers, the 2 teams that they play. You don't want that for your bowlers. You do not want to walk away from a round with 9 or 10 points from your bowlers. So those stats really stand out for me. And really, that's the reason why I'm fading all Stars bowlers outside of anything else. I know they've signed Adam Milne, and he should be, their strike bowler for the first couple of games. But he's coming in to do a little cameo and then he's off. So he might think of it as a bit of a holiday, have a few throwdowns, and then off you go and, make your money and move on. So I'm just staying away from them. Good luck to anyone that does play them, but that's why I've kept them out of my squad completely.
Yeah. All right, mate. Let's get into another giveaway, I reckon. The Heat player prize pool. The cards that we're giving away are a McSweeney Gold, a Jai Richardson Diamond. Wow, what a card. A John O'Wells Platinum and an Alex.
Oh, viewers, it's happened again. Stewie does not want to give cards away. Hey, he does not like it. All right, he was saying, so that's a McSweeney Gold, a Richardson Diamond, a Wells Plat, and a Carey Plat. And the winner is Nappers Ninjas. Well done to Nappers Ninjas. Good work, mate. You have won yourself a couple of decent cards there, including that Richardson Diamond. That is an unreal giveaway there. All righty, let's jump into the next one. We've got the player pool from all of our top 10 rankings shows. I'm going to run through it, and then Stu, maybe you can announce the winner this time because you've missed out on announcing a few. So from those ranking shows, we pulled a Dooley Plat, a Swepson Gold, a Lion Plat, a Ross Gold, a Kelly Diamond, and then a Basley Plat. Alrighty, and Stewie, can you do the honours?
The winner is maybe an omen for what some people are doing tonight. The winner is Do Panic Trade. Some people might be doing some panic trades of Webster out of their team right now, maybe for a Stoinis or maybe a Paul Walter type. But Do Panic Trade might be some advice for some of you. Well done, mate. That's pretty funny that he's won that giveaway. Well done, mate.
That's good. Alrighty, let's jump into this last game of the round, and then we will give away that huge Matt Short Diamond just before
everyone's
the
here
first ball is bowled. So make sure that you are tuned in for that. Alrighty, so the last game of this round is the Renegades versus the Hobart, and it's happening on Thursday. It is over at GMHBA Stadium in Geelong. Again, first ball is at 6:15 AEST, and the weather once again is fine, so we should have all of our overs from every game, fingers crossed. There's a few relevant players, but I want to jump straight down. I already talked about it a little bit. Jump straight down to Seifert. For me, this is where I'm targeting Seifert, and the reason I'm playing him over Joe Clark. Last season in the corresponding matchups, Renegades wicketkeepers scored the most points for their team against the Hurricanes. So that, for me, says that the Renegades are really targeting this game, and they're hoping their wicket keepers, particularly that top order, at that top order can go well. So Seifert for me is an absolute start. The other thing that I picked up through some of that analysis is that they are averaging 41 points against the Canes, which had them ranked second against all teams. So those wicket keepers, for whatever reason, they just are able to get up, and last season particularly, they were able to do a job against the Hurricanes, and I'm expecting Tim Seifert to do that again. So for me, that is why I've taken Seifert over Joe Clark. Some of those stats that the Stars put up that we talked about earlier from a wicketkeeper perspective, I'm fading him. So anyone that is listening and is tossing up between the two, that's where I'm going, and there's some of the reasons why. Good luck if you are going Joe Clark. We've got a bit of a head-to-head going on there. Let me know in the comments if you are still keen on Clark after that.
Yeah, beauty. Dill, we've spoken plenty about the Melbourne Renegades players. So who do you like from the Hobart Hurricanes? Who could feature in some of our lineups for this match?
Yeah, there's a couple of key players. Nathan Ellis is one of them. Chris Jordan's probably the other one for me in terms of relevant. Bat wicket keeper positions as well. There's so many opportunities there for so many players. McDermott, Wade, Shai Hope, and I wouldn't balk at anyone that wants to play one of those. But for me, without the double game, I'm just going to keep an eye on it. As we've spoken about at length, bowlers are more likely going to score. So for me, if I was going to play a Hurricanes player, it'd be a bowler for sure, or an all-rounder with that bowling upside. So look, Canes bowlers last season averaged 33 GDS points against the Renegades. So that was a pretty decent score there. You'd be pretty happy with 33 plus in your bowling position. And in particular, the Gades also allowed an average of 31 points, GDS points to the Quicks. So that there tells me that Nathan Ellis could be a pretty good option. In the intra-club warm-up that I spoke about earlier, that we spoke about, where the Hurricanes played each other in a bit of a warm-up match. Ellis had 3 overs, but he couldn't jag a wicket, and he added 5 with the bat. So I'm not sure what that tells me about his form leading into it. So that's probably why I'm not going to play him. But he is someone definitely that I'm looking at. On the flip side, Chris Jordan, in that practice match, he hit 32 off 28. So that's a pretty decent score from Chris Jordan. I did speak about he needs some more consistency with his batting, and we saw that there in that warm-up match. He didn't bowl though, which again I'm not sure why. There could be some question marks over his health. I don't know. So I'd only be speculating as to some of the reasons. For me, the other reason then that I'm not playing him is all-rounders against the Renegades last season only averaged 17 GDS points, which was the lowest average against any side. So those two players, although there's some upside, I think for me, I'm just going to sit and wait. Have a look at how their team goes, and just hope that cheer home the Renegades, and in particular probably Laurie Evans.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, looking for plenty of points from those Renegades players. Hey, we're about 3 minutes away from the first ball being bowled of the season. We're finally here, but there's one more important thing we need to do before we go and watch that first ball, and that obviously is to give away the Matt Short Diamond player. Thanks to everyone that got involved by commenting on our YouTube videos throughout the preseason. Dill's got a wheel on the screen. Look, there's plenty of entries, so thanks so much, everyone. Dill, I'm going to give you the honours, mate. Over to you.
Let's do it. All right. Matt Short Diamond giveaway. Here we go. Who is going to be the lucky winner of the giveaway? And it is Josh Brown, number 1. Congrats, mate. Well done. Thank you so much for your support, and all of that commenting and support means that you are the proud owner of probably the best card in the game at the moment.
Well done, Josh Brown. I think that's Stealth, isn't it? Well done, buddy. Good job, mate.
Stealth.
Yeah, you're always very helpful in the Discord as well, giving plenty of trades out to people as well. All right, on the screen is our final squad reveal. You can see who Dill and I have chosen for our 11 players in our number 1 side. We're not telling you our rarities, so you're going to need to work that out yourself. But we will put a little bit of an asterisk on our squad that they are subject to change, particularly when those team lists come through. We'll update those team lists on the GameDay Squad Discord server as well as our Twitter page as well. So keep in touch on those two places to get the latest news as well. And we'll probably mention if we change any of our players from our squads as well. So take a quick screenshot now, copy them if you need to. And anything else before we farewell, Dil?
No, just a reminder, anyone that has jumped on, seen us, and is keen to get involved, there's still a couple of minutes left to create your squad. Jump over onto the GameDay Squad website, sign up, use the promo code FBAC24. You'll get a free pack to rip open and get started, as well as all the bronze packs there. So definitely a bit of fun. Jump on board, and we look forward to the week, and then catching up with everyone at the end of the week in time for the next round. Thanks very much, mate. Thank you, viewers, for joining us, and as well as anyone watching us back again to keep up with how we've gone this week. Good luck to everyone. Go well.
Thanks, Dil. Thanks, viewers. We'll catch you for the round 2 live preview in a couple of days.